What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Today I have a very important video for you because we're going to talk about, despite all the great advice you've been given, why is it that you're not losing the fat or the weight that you're trying to? And I think it starts with a pretty profound statement, and that is, good advice at the wrong time becomes bad advice. And if you're getting what others will deem as good advice, but you're not ready for it, then it's not going to help. So I want to show you what that means and how we can fix it. If we look here, we've got just a line along the continuum here. And if we look up and we say, this is, say, 40% body fat over there, okay? And we're about 5% body fat here. We have our 30% line, we've got our 20%, we got our 10%. So those of us that are struggling with our body fat and our weight are generally going to be up in this range over here. So now, good advice. Someone might say to you, well, geez, or you've read, I know sweet potatoes are supposed to be better than white rice. Or we need to be switching from white rice to brown rice because that's what I read in an article. Guys, that's not the problem. The problem is not whether or not you're choosing white rice versus brown rice up here. That's not what's keeping you up here, and you know that. And I want to make this as truthful a video as I possibly can. What's happening here is you're not choosing either. You're choosing French fries, which is keeping you up in this range. So you don't have to focus on that advice. That advice isn't pertinent to you. At the moment, what you need to do is start realizing that there's better options out there than French fries. We can continue. Some people talk about cardio. Well, I read that fasted cardio is better for fat loss. Well, is that your problem here? Because what happens is when you don't do the cardio because you can't do it fasted because it doesn't work for your routine in the morning, then what do? You don't do anything. No cardio gets done because, well, if it's not fasted cardio, I'm not going to do any cardio. When up here, in reality, what you really shouldn't be focused on is necessarily the exact type of cardio you're doing or whether it's even HIIT training or not. What you should be focused on is doing conditioning or cardio work because we know it's good for your heart, and especially in this condition up here, that becomes really, really important. But don't think that that is your mechanism for fat loss. Because as I covered in a video here before, your ability to burn a significant amount of calories using cardio alone is going to quickly be eclipsed by the damage that you do by not paying attention to what you're putting in your mouth. So focusing on that is not the right way to go about getting down this line. We can go on. Cinnamon has been shown to increase your insulin sensitivity, right? It makes it easier for you to lose body fat. That's not your problem up here. If you start sprinkling cinnamon in or thinking, well, I'm just going to eat my Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you have to realize that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is what doesn't belong in here to allow you to get your cinnamon, right? That's the bigger move. The bigger move is you're making bigger mistakes up here than whether or not you're sprinkling cinnamon on your food or not. We also have this reliance also to think that supplements can save the day. And we'll say, well, you're right, Jeff, I need to fix my nutrition. I've heard that a lot. And I know that supplements are a great way to do it because, hell, everybody in the supplement market tells me that supplements will fix everything. Right? Well, not me, because I always tell my people, if you're in this range and you think that you're going to fix your nutrition, even with my supplements, forget it. Don't do it. Trust me, you won't do it. Don't think supplements are going to save the day up here, because they're not. Because let's say that the money dries up and you don't have the ability to pay for your supplements anymore on a monthly basis. Then what? What skills have you learned to fix your nutrition other than I can take something out of a bottle? You've learned nothing. So you're back in the same position you were in the first place. Finally, the one other thing that people will do here is they'll go the other way. They'll say, well, I know, Jeff, because you preach it. You say consistency is what matters the most. And you are absolutely damn right. Consistency is what matters most no matter where you are on this continuum here. But I'll tell you this, consistency is a sliding scale. And if you think that you're going to go from this area over here to being 100% consistent, you are setting yourself up for failure. And you know you have to be truthful with yourself because you are anything but perfect at this point here. And I always say, perfect is the enemy of the good. A lot of people almost artificially try to make perfect the goal because they know they'll never be able to get there, and they can just quickly fall back into their old habit saying, well, I can't do that because I can't be perfect, and that's not the reality. Because what we always talk about here is that you don't need to be perfect up here. In fact, if you went 60% good with your nutritional choices and 40% not so good, you'd still be making progress and you know it, because you know you're probably not making 60% of the right decisions up here. You're not. So if you were to get 60-40, well, we know this is a sliding scale. As we go back and through here, maybe you got to be 70-30 with your decisions in order to be able to continue to make progress down here. And then we go here and we're about 80-20, right? When we get down to the 5% level, you're going to need to be 90-10 to be able to still continue to see progress. Maybe if you want to get into the insane low levels of body fat, if you're competing or whatever it might be, you might even need to be more specific than that. But that's a sliding scale, and guess what? It becomes a lot easier to do these things as you slide down here because you get motivated by the results that you see as you make those changes all the way down here. If you started off here at 60-40, if you ignored some of the minutia in terms of advice, if you took the advice that you were getting that actually applied to you, and you did that here, you'd start to see changes that would put you into this category in here, and that would inspire you to continue. And then when you see that, you can start to make some more additional changes that inspire you to keep going because you continue to see those changes. And that's where these other things come in here. Maybe fasted cardio starts to become a consideration as you start to slide down, right? Instead of just doing your cardio after work. Or maybe starting to decide whether or not you are going to switch to sweet potatoes as opposed to white potatoes starts to become more of a consideration for you. Again, it all depends on your goals. It depends on what you're training for. But these are the things that start to at least enter into the discussion. Supplements become much more of an important issue as you slide down this scale. Whether or not you're just going to stay very top level with your supplements, like taking a daily multivitamin, or whether you're going to start to add specific supplements concerning workout nutrition before and after your workout, whether that becomes important. It all depends on where you are on this scale. However, all of it is good advice. It just might not necessarily be the right advice for you, and therefore, at the wrong time, it can become bad advice. So guys, I hope you get inspired by this video. If nothing else, realize that no matter where you are, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can always go this way. Of course, we could always go that way too, but that we know when we're doing that. We know we're making wrong decisions there. But here, if you can get some clarity on the decisions you are making, it will open up that avenue for you to see the possibilities of what you can accomplish. And when you can see that, and you can set your sights on that, you can reach it. And I want you guys to be able to reach it. And I have a whole channel here that gives you guys the tools to be able to reach that goal, but you have to be real with yourself first and understand what you need to be focused on in the first place. Guys, if you're looking for a program that puts the science back in strength, puts the truth back in everything we do always, I'm not going to bullshit you. You can go to ATHLEAN-X.com, use our program selector, find the program that's best aligned with your goals, and then guess what? Be prepared to work a little bit, because it's not going to be easy. It's always simple, but it's not easy to do. Because if it was easy, everybody would look perfect, right? And we know that that's not the case. If you want to start getting closer to this end of the scale here, you got to start making changes little by little, but you can do it as long as you're prepared to work. All those programs are over at ATHLEAN-X.com. In the meantime, if you found the video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below. Let me know what else you want me to cover here, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. All right, guys. See you soon.